We can start. Good afternoon. I am Caner Bakır, Professor of Political Science in International Relations Department at Koç University. It's a pleasure to be with you here. We got a few more people coming in. I'm also director of the Center for Globalization Research and Democratic Governance. So I will introduce our program to you, and we will have your questions after the presentation, and you can use our chat box for this purpose. So this presentation is about Applied Public Policy program. This is a one-year degree program offered by Koç University and University of Strathclyde. So in my presentation, before getting into the details of the program, briefly overview our two partner universities. So this is, as I mentioned, is a joint degree program. In other words, you will obtain a joint award from two highly respected universities at the end of 1 year non-thesis program. And you will spend first semester at Koç University and second semester at University of Strathclyde in Glasgow, the UK. And I believe you are familiar with Koç University, but this is a research university. And it is well known for its research internationally. And it is ranked highly by international rankings by subject. And it is, in social sciences that also contain international relations and political science, we are ranked highly. And this is our faculty members. This is one of the centers, actually the key center that relates to public policy, Center for Research on Globalization, Peace and Democratic Governance. And when we look at University of Strathclyde, they have very extensive group of faculty members with diverse experience and good research reputation. Strathclyde University is ranked number 1 in Scotland and number 7 in the UK in terms of its research impact. Its public policy, its School of Government and Public Policy actually is one of the largest and well-known in the UK academia, and it has 3 research organizations: European Policy Research Center, Center for Energy Policy, and Fraser of Allender Institute. So, why do we have a joint MS program in Applied Public Policy? First of all, we live in a very complex world, as you all know, and problems are very complex that require workable, innovative, realistic, effective solutions. And you need policy mixes and instrument mixes complementing one another in order to achieve what you would like to achieve. So in any area that you can think of, think about monetary policy, that you need a coordinated effort with financial regulatory bureaucracy, fiscal bureaucracy, etc. So you need to have very innovative policy mixes, from public policy areas in terms of fiscal policy, monetary policy, and regulatory policies, for example, should be mixed. when you design public policy, and you need to have relevant instruments used effectively. So how can we address the complex, multi-layered, cross-sectoral problems effectively through designing, formulating, and implementing policies? So you need to have good instruments, relevant instruments to achieve what you aim to achieve. So in that respect, we are training our students to be prepared for futures leaders who can take leadership role in identifying problems proactively. In other words, when you hit the wall and you try to come up with solution, that's not good in my opinion. You need to have, a proactive positioning of your organization through effective policy design and implementation, for example. Of course, you cannot anticipate everything and what is ahead, but you can be well prepared and you can invest in the capacity, policy capacity of your organization, of your bureaucracy, of your ministry, or you name it. It may be a company as well. So this is basically, one of the main objectives that we aim to achieve. And it's ideal for those who are looking for professional skills to become a policy worker. Those who sign policies, those who implement those policies. And we introduce a number of different methodological tools. We got a good toolbox, theoretical and methodological and conceptual. And you will choose whatever works to relevant circumstances. So we will offer you with a number of tools, and you will teach you, we will show you how to use those tools effectively to real world problems. So real cases, real world issues are extremely important in our training. So you will have analytical and critical thinking, inductive and deductive thinking, research and practical skills. Well, you will have opportunity to spend some time in one of those centers, for example. You will have data analysis skills, writing reports and making presentations effectively. So these are some of the key skills that we will offer. In addition to, the complex problems requires simple, doable solutions. We offer you very innovative program. So those of you familiar with what is available in public policy departments across the world, you will see especially policy design and implementation and policy analysis and evaluation courses are mostly absent. This is one of the unique part of our program. As someone who has invested his academic career to a large extent in public policy, political economy, and comparative politics, this makes this program unique as well. The content of the program and the courses that we offer. So why is this so? Because there are very few people in the world who will be able to deliver this kind of courses first. And this is actually this is one of the main reasons. And the such programs are very limited, and investing in human capital is another important factor why we don't see many programs similar to what we have here. In the first semester, you will have these courses, and then in the second semester you will be at Strathclyde, and you will have comparative public policy. This is a standard and important one. European governance, quantitative tools or qualitative methods, and you will have one elective, and during the summer period you will write an academic paper. Teaching, how we do that? Small group work, structured debate, presentations, background lectures, cases, and from time to time we will be able to invite practitioners. And we will have 20 contact hours with additional computer laboratory sessions for some math classes. TAF classes made up 2/3 of the total assessment. And there are a number of methods of assessment, as you can see in our program. And you see some of the people, placed after their graduation from Strathclyde. And when we look at the deadlines, 28th of May is the early application deadline, and 15th of July is the late application deadline. So final is 15th of July. So what you need is transcripts, of course, minimum GPA of 2.5 or equivalent. You need to demonstrate your level of proficiency in English, IELTS, TOEFL, etc. These results from these exams are required. A statement of purpose is important, and 2 letters of reference. And this is a program based on a fee, tuition. So you are expected to, have your funding. And for semester at Koç University, it's about 57,000 Turkish lira, or about $7,000. And for Strathclyde, it is 6,700 British sterling, or approximately $9,000, and total is around $16,000. So what we have offer is, of course, discounted tuition fee, and Strathclyde does the same. So if you enroll through our program, you will have cost advantages as well. And these are some of the issues that I wanted to highlight. And you can get in contact with our graduate school coordinator, Tuğçe Şatana, if you have further questions as well. So this is basically what I would like to, and this is our beautiful campus. And so this is basically what I wanted to share for the beginning. Now I will be able to take your questions. Any questions? Yes. Okay, Hazal. Okay, what careers have recent graduates gone On to, right. So if you graduate from such a program, what would you do? Where would you be employed? So if I do understand the question correctly, let me put it this way. Such training in Turkey is almost non-existent. So assuming that, for example, one option might be finding a job in Turkey. Another option might be finding a job abroad. So let me start with the first one. It's the area which badly needs trained people, but there is no such training. Why is this so? That's the question, isn't it? It's an infant stage in terms of graduate programs, and you cannot show me any other program in this country matching or getting any closer to this one. And the question is why? Nobody think about that before. Well, people thought about that, and people tried. Because of the training of at undergraduate level is very weak. You have political science departments, public administration departments, and within those departments, very few people are trained. Very few courses that directly relates to public policy are offered. So therefore, generally you get political science training or public policy, public administration training, and trying to find your way in public sector or in business as opposed to analysis. So this is something that is really an important issue, and we have with this training, people may be employed in public sector as a policy analyst, in ministries, or they would be able to find positions in private sector organizations and associations. How think about this. If you are in a public sector, there are always problems, and problems require workable solutions, and you need to come up with best alternatives. And there is a huge demand, huge need for such people, quality training and skills. In the private sector, there are increasingly government departments, and these departments basically are looking for such people who can closely monitor politics and policy. Think about regulation, which is going to be taking place soon, and that's going to be directly affect your sector, your company, and then you need to come up with, in a proactive way, some positioning of your company to lobby the government or to offer, for example, relevant policy solutions, recommendations to the legislature through your organization or through the peak organization or association that is representing the interests of your sector. So again, you need pulse analysis and what government decisions and actions would affect your business, how you should position your company vis-a-vis a supply of policies by the government, how you should position your company in face of regulatory changes, new taxes, incentives, subsidies, or the removal. So it requires translation of your interests and preferences to politics in an effective way. So that requires strong workers working in private sector as well. In Turkey, it has not been something institutionalized. So, and the second part, in international organizations and in the international employment opportunities, that might be the case, because you are receiving top-notch, highly competitive education and training. And these are transferable skills, and you will have a strong confidence in the tools, methodological, theoretical, or conceptual tools that would work wherever you are. So this is, in that respect, you will be equipped with necessary tools that would make yourself employable, and that will put you in a competitive position when it comes to interviews. And once you have employed, climb the ladders very fast. So especially, policy evaluation and analysis, policy design and implementation, as I mentioned earlier, are two directly related courses, extremely important. And in public policy programs, they are rarely present. Is there any, is that question all right with you, or would you like to, verify me further issues, Hazal? Are you okay with that? Okay, great, thank you. So let me see another, take another question. Second semester of the joint program is supposed to be in Glasgow, yes. Is it still valid, taking into account the current pandemic situation? And if not, what could be the alternatives? Please share some statistics like average age and number of students of this program. Right. So in the first part, we will have, we cannot, estimate what's going to happen next year, this time, second semester, but the information from the UK points to a very positive direction. And in the previous past, we have not yet recruited the students that we targeted. So we are still looking for, a start. Okay, so we have TOEFL, okay, for application related questions. There are some people helping me out. Irmak Hanım, if you would like to respond, you are more welcome, or we can direct the student, TOEFL question.
Sure, I can answer it if you want.
Go ahead.
Yes, you can apply without your TOEFL or GRE scores. We know due to pandemic reasons, many of students cannot get their results, and you may get conditional acceptance. And once you get the scores, you may present us via email or only submitting it our online application platform. There is an IELTS question. We cannot accept IELTS because Higher Education Council cannot accept it. Only TOEFL and YDS for Turkish students.
Okay, then I do correct myself because in introduction I referred to IELTS as well. Forget about it.
Well, we cannot accept it, unfortunately.
All right, I correct myself. Yeah, public policy, is this very exciting area and underdeveloped, not only in Turkey, but in most of the world, and especially in developing countries and less developed countries, you got huge potential. That potential includes building a capacity. You can be leaders who build policy-making capacity in that particular ministry or bureaucracy or in a private sector organization. You can identify necessary resources required, and you can channel those resources into effective policy recommendations, which may make a big difference in your organization's objectives, achieving your organization's objectives, and probably making a big difference in changing people's life. So we got many issues, for example, which are not effectively addressed and misdiagnosed in real world. You identify the problem wrongly, for example. If you have a wrong diagnosis, no matter how wonderful solutions and treatment you have, you end up with wrong destination. Think about a medical doctor making a wrong diagnosis, and with wrong treatment, the patient dies. So it is in that respect something very, very serious, because you are dealing with the society. You are dealing with an organization within an ecology of organizations interacting with one another in a dynamic environment. And and there are also competitors in the marketplace. In other words, the biggest battles in public policy, in my opinion, is taking place over the definition of problem. You will see various actors mobilizing to make their case, to legitimize their position in diagnosis of the problem. And are you going to deal with this? Or if you lose that battle, then the policy outcomes will not generate expected benefits for your organization or for your ministry or for your society. So this is something in that respect quite important. So we got one more question. Test scores, background information, and more you can contact with us. Okay, that's from Irmak Taştan. All right. So if you have special questions, detailed questions about the application or background information, again, gss@ku.edu.tr. You can send your questions. Any other, this is a fee and your funding and your interest, your statement of purpose, and having an full application with good reference letters are all important to us. Okay, so there's someone also asking, that's TOEFL, not IELTS. But if you have further questions, you can send an email to GSSSH, the email that I have just mentioned. Any other question about the program, about public policy? I can refer to some of the what we do, but I can also refer to about myself and what do I do very briefly. To it will also be an overview of some of the things that we are doing in terms of research. I am the associate editor of Policy Sciences, top journal in the field, and associate editor of Journal of Comparative Policy Analysis. And my other colleagues are internationally well-known people, and that also includes staff and faculty actually who are going to teach you at Strathclyde. Very high-profile, academically well-known, internationally well-known academics, and who lead the standard of dialogue in public policy in international academia. So that's we are really keen to have a strong start to train futures leaders who can identify complex problems proactively. I underline this, proactively. It's too late when you hit the wall. Proactively, and do their best to get these things connected with the elite decision makers, because you offer something and it should be consumed by elite decision makers, be them minister, manager, etc. And innovative solutions. You may have a brilliant idea. Is this idea doable? We will discuss this. You may have a wonderful idea, but it may not work. What triggers an idea? What makes an idea workable? What are the contextual factors that affect effectiveness in translation of a policy idea into desired outcomes? Sometimes you have an idea, well translated into a policy, you implement it. You implement it and you end up with huge mess. There's this COBRA problem. Does anyone of you know it, COBRA problem? In India, Bombay, there were when the colony, it was a British colony, there was this COBRA problem in the street, and the government introduced a bounty per COBRA tail, and it seemingly worked. And whoever captures a COBRA and brings the tail will get a few dollars. But authorities realized that over time, at the beginning it worked fine, and there were no cobras in the street, but people kept bringing cobra tails. So in the streets, you don't see many, but people bringing it and receive funding. And they stopped subsidizing this issue, and they dropped the problem. And because it became clear that people had cobra farms, instead of, in order to continue receiving money from the government, they have this cobra farms. So government stopped the subsidy. And then you know what people did? They left all cobras to the streets. So you go back to situation, and and you made things worse because of your decisions. So then, it's a very simple, banal example. So you need to know your audience. You need to know the culture. You need to know the institutional environment. You need people's cognitive and normative thinking, and how would they react. So it's not just something that you can, devise on table and think about the data and evidence-based research. That's fine, but is it something workable? Is it something which will deliver the intended results in a sustained way? So these are important issues. This kind of things will become vital when you offer advice to ministers, for example, to the chairman of the company that you are working, etc. So if there's one more question, and we are already, if there isn't any other question or comment, I can take that question, and then we can.
Hello.
Let me see this question. This is an underdeveloped field. I do agree, and it needs much attention. You're right. And okay, so thank you for the comment. Basically, this is one of our participants recognizes that there is a huge gap in human resources, in human capital, who would be able to work as professionals in the policy area. Yes, absolutely. And this is something needs to be filled with well-rounded, highly competitive individuals. Any other question? Right. Okay. So basically, if there isn't any other question, we can conclude our meeting. And any one of you who would like to have, more questions about the program, not the application related issues, that's not me, but about the program, you can write to me, cbakr@ku.edu.tr. All right, so I guess we don't have any other question. So thank you very much.